Hi, folks. This is Al Silver again with another report. This is a great website, bankbuzzreport.com. What's going on with world banks? And as you know, we're living in a topsy-turvy world where banks are actually confiscating funds from their clients' account. Take, for instance, the Cyprus debacle that occurred just a few months ago, where average citizens were charged by their banks for the failing economic woes of the EU. And this website is dedicated to what's going on in world banking. It's pretty up on things. There's one particular bank here that is featured, CIC Swiss Bank, which is owned by CIC Credit Mutual of France. And there have been a number of instances where that bank has been accused of stealing millions of francs from its customers. And one particular article I'd like to point out is this one here. Christopher Ruch, which is the head of CIC Swiss Bank, the head of the legal department there, is not even a licensed attorney. I mean, how can they have a guy running their legal department that isn't even licensed to practice law in Switzerland? The article was written by a former employee of the bank, Victor Van Zandt, who has an MBA in business and a PhD economist, and he's the driving force behind this website, Bank Buzz Report. But he writes that he worked for Swiss Bank a number of years, CIC Swiss, and he knows Christopher Ruch very well. When he first met Ruch, he was shocked to learn that although Ruch was the head of CIC Swiss Bank's legal department, he's not a registered attorney, and he's not licensed to practice law in Switzerland. So you'd think that someone that would head their legal department would have a license, but that's not the case, and it's absolutely necessary for someone to know the law to hold such a key position at a bank like this. And apparently the bank, the CEO of the bank, Thomas Muller, and the chairman of the board of CIC Credit Mutuel in Paris, Philippe Vidal, they don't even seem to care. The result of this man being in his position has been disastrous because a number of decisions have been made that were incompetent, inept, and only a legally illiterate person running the legal department of CIC Swiss Bank would allow this to happen. What were some of these decisions? Just to name a few, Mr. Ruch's failure to have proper security measures in place. Millions of Swiss francs were stolen by CIC Bank employees from customers' accounts in Lugano, Switzerland. Number two, there's another article on this website, folks, about that exactly. By Mr. Ruch not having proper security procedures in place for the bank's online banking platform, this caused clients' accounts to get hacked and substantial amounts of money were stolen. And instead of having digital key cards that generate a unique 6-digit code every 30 seconds for customers to log into their accounts with, CIC Swiss Bank used paper key cards, which are totally insecure, and they can be copied by anybody that comes in contact with them. And I personally made Mr. Ruch aware of this. That is, Mr. Van Zandt made Mr. Ruch aware of it, but he said it would cost too much money and they didn't need that type of service. If you're dealing with a bank, please be aware that money in your account can be stolen at any time by hackers, and if you don't have proper security procedures in place, it's more likely to happen. So make sure you're dealing with a reputable bank. Anyway, by Mr. Ruch not having a security procedure in place that would force the customer to change their password every 60 days, this permitted hackers to steal passwords, and the hackers never had to worry about passwords changing. Number 4, Mr. Ruch not having a procedure in place where the customer has to create a bank wire template prior to wire transferring funds out of their account. This permitted hackers to just log in and wire funds out of customers' accounts. Part of the process, if it was set up correctly, would be for a customer to use their unique key card to set up the template. So only established templates set up by a customer could be used for bank wires, but this is not the case at CIC Swiss Bank and CIC Credit Mutuel, which is their parent company in France. Number 5, Mr. Ruch not having proper analytical software installed on the bank servers that would alert the bank to unusual banking transactions made a big mistake, because now the bank is not able to notice larger transfers from customer accounts. In a particular instance, which is another article featured on this website, folks, numerous customer bank accounts were hacked and monies were sent to the same account in Poland where the hackers were located. These transactions initiated by the hacker virtually drained the customer's bank accounts, and it would have been very easy for software to be in place on the CIC Swiss Bank servers that would have detected these unusual transactions and alerted the bank, but Mr. Ruch didn't feel that was necessary. And it's just an awful shame, because a lot of people really were hurt severely at CIC Swiss Bank when their monies were stolen from them. A simple phone call to the customer could have averted the theft of funds, but that call was never made because the bank had no software in place. Keep in mind, again, every year billions of dollars are stolen by criminals who hack into bank accounts all over the world, and most reputable banks will stand behind these losses and immediately credit the stolen funds back to the customer's account. But take, for instance, CIC Swiss Bank, owned by CIC Credit Mutuel of France. They did not do that. Instead, Mr. Ruch, the head of their legal department, thinks it's better to just blame the customer. In the instances where customers had funds stolen, that's exactly what this guy did, instead of taking responsibility. So these are just a few disastrous decisions made by Mr. Ruch, and the author, Mr. Van Zandt, who worked at CIC Swiss, can go on and on about the ineptness and incompetence of Mr. Ruch, but the above examples paint the picture. Major corporations just can't have people that are not seasoned lawyers in charge of legal departments, and nor can they have inept, incompetent people in management positions, and that leads to disasters, which is what has happened at CIC Swiss Bank. So once again, BankBuzz recommends to its readers that you personally verify your bank's policies regarding losses that occur through theft and funds that are stolen due to account hacking, and make sure your bank will stand behind those losses, and get that statement in writing, folks. Make sure your bank can also supply you with proof that the orders for bank wires are actually coming from you if they do make a wire. This way, they're responsible for any ineptitude or any losses that you suffer. Again, check out bankbuzzreport.com. It's a great website, and please be aware of these things that are occurring in banking today, and take care Look forward to bringing you another video shortly. Thank you.